If you're a team leader, you already know Microsoft Teams is great for communication. But what if you could turn all that chatter into real, trackable action? We're about to show you how to solve some of your biggest workflow headaches and actually transform Teams from just a chat app into a powerful operations hub. Does this sound a little too familiar? I mean, your team channels are buzzing, files are flying everywhere, everyone seems incredibly busy. But then when you ask for the status of a really critical task, it's just crickets. You've fallen into what we call the collaboration trap, and believe me, it is quietly killing your team's productivity. So let's really dig into this trap, shall we? It's that super frustrating gap between seeing tons of team activity, but not seeing the actual accountable work getting done. All the noise of collaboration is just drowning out the results. And, this is exactly what happens when you try to force a structured process into a tool that was built for unstructured chat. And the consequences of this, well, they create a visibility black hole. As a manager, you feel like you're constantly having to ping people just to know where things stand. Your team gets frustrated, wasting precious time hunting for the right form or the latest version of a file. And the biggest risk of all, that critical task, the one everyone agreed to in a chat, it just vanishes. It falls through the cracks because it was never formally tracked in the first place. So, what's the alternative? Let's just look at the two approaches side by side. The old way, in Teams, means work gets buried in chat threads. Status updates need you to manually poke people, and data is just everywhere. Now, the SmartBPM way makes work visible by locking it into a clear state. It automates status updates through dashboards, and it structures all that data with forms. It's a simple shift, but it's profound. It's all about making the invisible visible. Okay, so how do we actually make that shift? How do we get from all that chatter to real certainty? Look, it's not about adding another separate tool to your stack. It's about adding a layer of intelligence right inside of Teams that turns those loose conversations into structured, trackable workflows. Let's see how this actually works. It all starts with something simple, something that happens every day. A team member needs a sales quote approved, or maybe a travel request submitted. Instead of just typing a messy request into a channel, they kick off a formal SmartBPM workflow right from inside Teams. And this is where the chaos just stops. The entire workflow is mapped out visually, so there's no mystery about what happens next. Every single step, from creation to final approval, is defined. You set the rules one time, and the system guarantees that no step is ever skipped. It even accounts for things like a rejected request, building certainty right into the process itself. This is the end of incomplete requests. Seriously. Instead of a vague chat message, your team member fills out a structured form like this one. Notice how every required field is right here. Customer details, line items, payment terms. It is now literally impossible to submit a request with missing information. This one step eliminates that endless back and forth and guarantees you get clean data every single time. So once a request is submitted, where does it go? Well, it doesn't go into a black hole. This is the user's My Submissions tab. Think of it as their outbox. They can see every process they've started, and most importantly, its real-time status. Submitted, approved, in progress. It's all right there. This gives your team incredible peace of mind and just stops all those, hey, just checking in messages. The easiest way to think of it is this. You get an inbox for your to-do list and an outbox for your waiting for list. This simple view brings absolute clarity to everyone. Everybody knows what they're responsible for, and they know exactly what they're waiting on from others. It drives a real culture of accountability. Okay, so we've seen how it all works, but let's talk about why this is so important. When you implement this kind of structure, it delivers what we like to call the triple win. 3 immediate, game-changing benefits for your team and for you as a leader. First, you get absolute accountability. Every single task has a clear owner and a visible state. No more guessing. Second, you get data-driven transparency. You can finally see how long things are actually taking and identify the real bottlenecks. You start managing based on facts, not just gut feelings. And third, you put an end to the endless search. All the files, all the decisions are attached right to the workflow, creating a perfect audit trail. Now let's just zoom out for a second. This system doesn't just make your team's life easier, it gives senior leadership the high-level visibility they desperately need. It completely transforms management from being based on vibes to being based on hard data. For you as a manager, this is your command center. Just imagine being able to pull up a real-time report on all the approved sales quotes. You can see the customer, the request date, the total amount, who signed off on it, all in one place. This is that granular, actionable intelligence you've been missing. And it gets even better. All of this structured data can be piped directly into Power BI. This is what creates the boardroom view, a real-time dashboard that shows the health of your entire department. You can spot trends and report on your team's performance with a single click. You're giving the C-suite the exact data they crave. So you can see the value here, right? But how do you convince your boss? Well, we're going to give you 3 really powerful questions to take into that meeting. And these questions frame this not as just another tool, but as a solution to their biggest headaches. All right, here's your first question, and it's all about the most expensive resource in the company, your leadership's time. Just ask them this. How many hours are our leaders spending every single week just chasing down status updates that should be instantly visible on a dashboard? Question number 2 is all about risk. Ask them, if one of our key team members called in sick tomorrow, would we know exactly where their critical projects stand right now? You see, this isn't just about efficiency. This is about business continuity. When work is trapped in private chats, the whole business is at risk. And finally, the closing question. This isn't theoretical at all. It's a direct offer to show them tangible value. You're not asking them to imagine a better way. You're offering to show it to them using a real-world example they'll recognize immediately. And that's the fundamental shift we're talking about. You stop managing people for updates, and you start managing the process for outcomes. Because when you give your team a clear process to follow, you get the data you need to lead effectively. And the result? You get better outcomes, you get less stress, and you get a team that can finally focus on doing great work instead of just talking about it.